Close your eyes and imagine drifting far above the world you know. The noise fades, the day disappears, and in its place a soft, endless ocean of stars awakens. Tonight, you and I are leaving the Earth behind, not as astronauts, not as scientists, but as quiet travelers searching for peace, wandering through a galaxy that has been dreaming for billions of years. Above you, glowing like a river of silver dust, lies the Milky Way, a spiraling cradle of suns, forgotten worlds, and ancient mysteries still whispering through the dark. Every star you see, every distant shimmer, is a story older than everything humans have ever known. Stories carved in starlight, stories carried on cosmic winds, stories waiting to lull your mind into a deeper, gentler sleep. So let your shoulders loosen, let your breath slow, and let your thoughts soften like moonlight on calm water. Because tonight we're traveling into the quiet heart of our galaxy, where science becomes poetry, where time becomes weightless, and where the universe reminds you, in the calmest possible voice, that you are part of something vast, beautiful, and endlessly peaceful. Welcome to the Milky Way. As you settle into the quiet of the night, the world around you softens. The walls, the ceiling, the familiar shapes of your room fade into a gentle blur. Somewhere in the distance, a car hums, a clock ticks, a breeze stirs a curtain, but none of it pulls your mind away. Instead, each tiny sound becomes part of a larger rhythm, a slow invitation to drift deeper. And in that softness, the night sky opens, not above you, but around you, like a curtain of velvet unfolding in absolute silence. The stars appear first as faint glimmers, timid and scattered, then brighter, bolder, as if they suddenly remember their ancient duty to guide the weary, soothe the restless, and remind every human heart that the universe has room for them too. You rise gently above the earth, not with engines or rockets, but with an ease that feels like floating inside a dream. Below you, the curve of the planet becomes a soft blue halo glowing in the darkness, thin as breath, fragile as silk. The clouds look like quiet mountains of cotton, drifting on air so delicate you could almost touch it. Yet your eyes are drawn upward into the shimmering river of light stretching across the sky. The Milky Way, a cosmic bridge made of hundreds of billions of stars, each one a tiny furnace burning across unimaginable distances. And somehow tonight, the galaxy seems closer than ever, like it has been patiently waiting for you to notice. As you drift forward, the stars shift. Some look sharp and new, blazing white, while others glow with the tired, ancient redness of suns that have lived 10 billion years. Each star spins its own story, a story carved into the fabric of time, and as you pass through them, the stories begin to whisper. They whisper of worlds that froze, worlds that burned, worlds that bloomed with oceans and clouds and quiet life before fading into dust. They whisper of comets born at the edge of darkness, flung inward by gravity's invisible hand, carrying in their frozen hearts the ingredients of life: water, carbon, fragile molecules trembling with possibility. Far below you, the Earth grows smaller, but not lonelier. Instead, it looks peaceful, almost childlike. This small blue world where humanity built its dreams, fought its fears, and looked up for answers it could never quite reach. And as you drift higher, the noise of that world disappears entirely. No wars, no traffic, no deadlines. Just silence, the kind of silence that doesn't feel empty, but full. Full of potential, full of memory, full of things not yet understood. You continue gliding upward until the Milky Way surrounds you completely. Its spiral arms stretch out like gentle wings, glowing with dust and light. Each arm is filled with stellar nurseries, vast clouds of gas and dust where new stars are born. As you glide closer, you see them, glowing pink clouds stretching across dozens of light years, illuminated from within by infant stars still wrapped in cosmic dust. They flicker like tiny lanterns behind a veil, their light new, fragile, still learning how to shine. These clouds breathe, slowly, calmly, expanding and contracting over millions of years, in a rhythm so patient, so serene, it feels like the breathing of the galaxy itself. A soft glow radiates from a cluster of stars ahead. The Pleiades, 7 sisters, though in truth there are more than 1,000 stars in this cluster, all bound together by gravity, moving through space as a family. The cluster drifts past you like a quiet blue jewel, stars so young they still sparkle with the hot, electric blue of cosmic infancy. Scientists say the Pleiades will eventually drift apart, scattered by gravitational tides, but for now they stay together, glowing softly, like a lullaby sung in the dark. You drift farther, past the star-forming regions and into the spiral arms where older stars burn quietly, not as blue, not as fierce, but stable, reliable, like calm fires that have learned the art of endurance. Many of these stars host planets, some small and rocky, some giant and stormy, some covered in oceans, some scorched by heat. You imagine drifting past distant worlds, where strange winds swirl over alien mountains, where frozen oceans crack under the light of foreign suns, where storms the size of continents roam across skies you cannot name. Some planets orbit so close to their stars that a year is shorter than a day. Others drift far out in darkness, where sunlight is just a memory. And somewhere, hidden within the endless sea of stars, are planets like Earth, quiet, blue, waiting. The galaxy rotates slowly around you, taking hundreds of millions of years to complete a single turn. You feel none of that speed. To you, everything moves like drifting snow, weightless and serene. The stars hum faintly, not a sound, but a sensation, a warmth that seems to vibrate in your chest, and as you drift deeper into the galaxy, the bright disk begins to thin. The stars become fewer, the darkness grows stronger. You are moving toward one of the galaxy's most mysterious realms, the galactic halo. The halo is vast, almost invisible. It surrounds the Milky Way like a ghostly sphere reaching far beyond the glowing arms. Here, ancient stars drift like embers left from a forgotten fire. Some of them are older than Earth, older than the sun, older than almost every star in the sky. These ancient suns burn softly with the quiet wisdom of billions of years. They have seen galaxies collide. They have watched star clusters merge and dissolve. They were shining long before the first humans looked up and wondered where they came from. As you drift among these elder stars, the galaxy below you looks even more magnificent, its spiral structure glowing like a cosmic pinwheel suspended in endless night. It feels impossible that something so grand, so enormous, so intricately woven from energy and time could exist at all. And yet it does, and you are floating through it, unhurried, unbothered, weightless as a memory. Your path arcs downward gently, like a feather falling through starlight. Ahead of you lies the central bulge of the Milky Way, an immense golden glow where stars pack together far more tightly than in the arms. The starlight here is warm, dense, gentle. It feels like drifting into a city of ancient lanterns, each one flickering softly. And beneath that golden glow lies something even more mysterious, a shadowed region where gravity gathers its strength. The galactic center. You feel it before you see it. A pull, not frightening, but powerful, patient, steady. At the very heart of our galaxy sits an object beyond ordinary imagination, a supermassive black hole 4 million times the mass of our sun. It has no surface, no shape, no sound, just a deep, dark presence that curves space and time around itself like a whirlpool made of silence. Scientists call it Sagittarius A. But out here, it feels more like a sleeping giant, not angry, not hungry, just resting, as it has rested for billions of years. Around the black hole, stars whirl at incredible speeds, some moving faster than any spacecraft humans could ever build. They dance in tight, perfect orbits, glowing brightly as if performing for the darkness itself. Yet even here, in the most extreme environment in the galaxy, the mood is calm, slow, silent. It feels like drifting into a cathedral carved from gravity, where light bends like prayer. You float closer, slowly, carefully, but not too close. The black hole does not reach for you. It simply exists, serene and unchanging, as if it wants to remind you that even the most powerful things in the universe can be still. Around you, the galaxy pulses gently. The spiral arms glow. Nebulae shimmer, clusters drift. Comets sleep. And through it all, a steady, peaceful rhythm flows, like a cosmic heartbeat. It is the rhythm of stars forming, shining, fading, and being reborn from dust. The rhythm of a galaxy that has existed long before humans and will exist long after, yet still welcomes your presence tonight. As you drift upward once more, you feel lighter than before, calmer. The Earth slowly comes back into view, a quiet blue pearl glowing beneath you, and as you begin your gentle descent, the stars dim slightly, as if bowing you out of their ancient realm. You carry their calm with you, their silence, their timelessness, their reminder that even in the vastness of space, you are not lost. You are part of something grand, peaceful, and endlessly beautiful, and the night welcomes you home. As the Earth settles softly beneath you once more, you do not return fully, not yet. Instead, you hover between worlds, resting in a space where gravity loosens its grip and time smooths itself into a gentle ribbon. The night is calm, and so is your breath. Above you, the galaxy stretches like a grand mural painted across eternity. Only now, with your senses quiet and your mind drifting, you begin to notice details you couldn't see before, details hidden within the shimmering tapestry of the Milky Way. The stars closest to you flicker in soft hues of blue, white, gold, and red, colors shaped by their temperatures, their ages, and their histories. A blue star pulses with the fierce energy of youth, burning millions of degrees hotter than the sun, using its fuel recklessly, as if rushing toward brilliance before its time. A red star glows with the mellow warmth of old age, preserving its fuel, extending its life, whispering wisdom into the cosmic void. You drift between them gently, the way a feather moves across a still lake, leaving no trace behind. The air, or the space that feels like air around you, begins to shimmer. You are nearing one of the galaxy's great nurseries again, but this time it is not the pink blossoms of ionized hydrogen that greet you. It is something older, deeper, quieter, a dark nebula, a region where thick clouds of dust block the starlight behind them. To human eyes, these clouds would look like empty patches in the sky, but here, up close, they appear like vast cosmic forests, branching shapes of soot and ice stretching over dozens of light years. These are the places where stars wait to be born, not yet ignited, not yet glowing, only gathering, slowly, silently, for millions upon millions of years, until gravity pulls them into brilliance. The dust clouds swirl as you pass, slowly, gently, but purposefully. They move like living shadows, shifting in response to forces you cannot see. A faint glow emerges from within the dark, like embers beneath ash. These are protostars, infants not yet ready to shine, wrapped in cocoons of dust. Their light is warm but hesitant, flickering like a candle trapped in its shell, and you drift past them with the same reverence one might feel when standing in a nursery where tiny hearts are just beginning to stir. Ahead, the darkness thins, giving way to a river of stars that stretches across your path. This is a stellar stream, the remnants of an ancient galaxy long ago torn apart by the Milky Way's gravity. The stars in the stream are old, older than the sun, older than the Earth, older than the oldest human story. They glide together in a long, thin ribbon, still remembering the shape of the home they lost billions of years ago, and as you float near them, you can almost sense their memory, not in words, but in the quiet dignity with which they move. You drift alongside the stellar stream, letting it guide you deeper into the galaxy's outer regions. Here, the stars are spaced farther apart. The void becomes darker, thicker, like deep water. The silence is profound, but not empty. It feels like the silence of a grand cathedral. A silence meant not to overwhelm you, but to steady you, cradle you, remind you that the universe is far older and far gentler than the noise humans carry in their minds. Your path curves again, as if guided by an unseen hand, drawing you toward another wonder, something vast and faint and incredibly delicate, a globular cluster. It appears at first as a small glowing sphere, but as you approach, the sphere blossoms into a radiant swarm of hundreds of thousands of stars. They are packed tightly at the center, like fireflies gathered around a single point, then scattered more loosely towards the edges. The cluster orbits the Milky Way like a loyal companion, circling the galaxy every few 100 million years, never breaking apart despite its age. Inside the cluster, the stars are crowded close. Distances that on Earth would seem immense, light years, here feel intimate. Some stars pass close enough that their gravitational tides tug at each other like dancers brushing fingertips. Others merge entirely, becoming single brighter stars, and as you drift through this glowing sea, you feel a sense of warmth. Not physical warmth, but emotional warmth. The comfort of seeing stars held together despite all the time and distance the universe has thrown at them. Gradually, you drift out of the cluster and into a calmer region where the stars thin once more. A soft haze fills the space around you, the faint glow of cosmic dust, illuminated by distant starlight. This dust is not like the dust you know. It is ancient, made of atoms forged in supernova explosions billions of years ago. Every speck a fragment of a long-dead star, every grain a piece of cosmic memory. You realize that this dust scattered across the galaxy is the same dust that formed the sun, and the Earth, and every human body that ever lived. You are drifting not just through space, but through the raw material of life itself. A slow turning motion takes you deeper along the spiral arm. The stars begin to brighten again. The density increases. You are entering one of the galaxy's great highways, regions where stars, gas, and dust flow together in thick, luminous currents. These streams are like the arteries of the Milky Way, carrying energy and matter from one region to another. Massive blue giants tower among smaller stars, casting shadows across interstellar clouds. Supernova remnants glow like ghostly rings. Pulsars flicker in perfect rhythm, their beams sweeping through space like cosmic lighthouses. You drift past a giant molecular cloud, an immense region of cold gas where future stars are forming even now. The cloud glows faintly in deep shades of blue, purple, and violet, like the inside of an amethyst stone. Waves ripple through it, shock waves from ancient explosions, pressure from nearby stars, gravity pulling it inward. You feel the presence of billions of molecules swirling around you, each one on a journey toward becoming something greater. Then, without warning, the darkness brightens, not in front of you, but beneath you. A flash, then another. You are passing silently over a region where massive stars have lived fast and died young. Supernova remnants spread across space like broken flowers, frayed petals of glowing gas expanding outward at breathtaking speeds. The colors are soft but vibrant, crimson arcs, golden rings, violet tendrils. These are the ashes of stars that once shone 1,000,000 times brighter than the sun. Their deaths are not violent from this distance. They are graceful, slow, and strangely beautiful. Reminders that even endings in the universe carry their own kind of gentleness. The remnants fade behind you as you drift toward a strange, swirling distortion ahead. Space itself seems to stretch and bend. A neutron star spins rapidly, sending beams of radiation into the void like twin searchlights. You approach cautiously, though no harm can reach you here. The star rotates dozens of times per second, faster than a blender, faster than the blades of a helicopter, faster than anything human hands could ever build. Yet from here, it looks serene, like a tiny, glittering bead spinning in eternal meditation. You drift past it, following the faint gravitational currents that lead you onward. The spiral arms twist slowly around you. The galaxy rotates beneath your feet like a glowing wheel, each star moving in a silent dance choreographed by gravity. Everything moves, yet nothing feels rushed. The universe has no need for haste. As the spiral arms begin to blur gently, you arc downward again, drawn by the quiet glow of a region where dust clouds shimmer like gold. This is the area where our sun was born, nearly 5 billion years ago. You imagine the cloud as it once was, dense, swirling, full of potential. You imagine the moment gravity gathered it inward, tightening it, heating it, igniting it. The first light of our sun bursting into darkness. And from that light, oceans formed, atmospheres rose, life stirred. You drift through the ancient birthplace of the entire human story, and it feels like floating through a memory the universe kept safe for you. The stars around you soften, the clouds thin, the galaxy becomes quieter, dimmer, calmer. You are drifting back towards the space between the arms, where only a few stars shine like lonely campfires scattered across an endless desert. The quiet here is profound. It pulls your thoughts inward, not sharply, but gently. You feel your breath slow again. Your eyelids grow heavier. The universe folds around you like a blanket. Far ahead, you see a familiar shimmer, the soft blue glow of the sun, small but recognizable. And nearby, the earth drifts like a delicate ornament suspended in darkness. You begin your descent toward it, slow and peaceful, the galaxy fading behind you while a sense of quiet belonging fills your chest. The Milky Way remains above you, its spiral arms stretching across the night like a celestial promise, ancient, gentle, and endlessly patient. You carry its calm inside you as the stars slowly dim and the night draws you home. The night around you deepens once more, not into darkness, but into a velvety curtain of soft starlight. You are floating beyond the familiar lanes of our spiral arm now, drifting toward regions of the Milky Way that few human imaginations have explored. This part of the galaxy feels older, quieter, as though it remembers things the newer stars have forgotten. Time moves differently out here, not slower or faster, but smoother, like a river that has learned to flow without disturbing the stones beneath it. Below you, far below, the galaxy spreads like a colossal glowing whirlpool, its arms sweeping outward in graceful, spiraling arcs. They trail behind like celestial ribbons painted across millions of light years. The further you drift from them, the more you begin to see patterns that were hidden before. Faint ripples in the stellar currents, subtle waves in the dust, shimmering traces of ancient collisions long forgotten by anything except the stars themselves. Your journey takes you toward a region that appears almost empty at first. Only a few scattered stars glimmer in the distance, like lanterns left on after a feast has ended. But as you drift closer, you realize the emptiness is an illusion. The stars here are dim, not because they are dying, but because they are old. So old that they burn with gentle amber light, their youth hundreds of billions of sunsets behind them. They feel like elders of the night, watching the galaxy turn with a kind of patient curiosity. One star in particular catches your attention. It glows a deep, rich gold, almost copper-colored, pulsing faintly in slow, steady breaths. You drift toward it without effort, as though gravity itself has softened just enough to guide you. When you approach, you sense its warmth. Not physical heat, but emotional warmth, like approaching a hearth in a quiet mountain cabin. This star has seen ages pass. It has watched entire constellations shift position. It has felt the pull of the Milky Way orbiting around the galactic center, generation after generation, with the patience only a star can possess. You hover near it for a moment, just long enough to feel its wisdom, but then a gentle current of starlight nudges you onward, deeper into the galaxy's quiet inner regions. The space ahead is filled with a pale, rosy haze. Wisps of gas float in long, drifting streams. They are remnants of forgotten supernovae, ghosts of ancient stars that once burned brighter than anything alive today. Now their ashes drift across space like delicate curtains carried on underwater tides. When they catch the light of nearby stars, they glow softly, like silk held up to the sun. You pass through one of these streams, and the dust seems to swirl around you as though acknowledging your presence, then slowly disperses into the background again. As you move deeper inward, the number of stars increases. They appear at first like scattered drops of golden rain, then like clusters of glowing embers, then finally like entire oceans of light stretching in all directions. You can no longer count them. They form a thick, luminous fog, a sea of 100 billion suns, each one a world unto itself, each with its own stories, its own planets, its own orbiting companions. And yet from here, in this vast stillness, they all blend into a single shimmering glow. There is something mesmerizing about this sight. You feel the scale of it, the enormity, the sheer magnitude of the galaxy's heart. But instead of overwhelming you, it calms you. The light pulses gently, almost like a heartbeat, slow, rhythmic, soothing. Everything here feels connected, every star a note in a vast ancient chord. Then gradually you begin to sense movement beneath that calm. The stars are not still. They are swirling, rotating around a distant central mass. You are being carried along by that subtle rotation now. It is gentle, like being moved by the slow current of a warm river at dusk. You drift effortlessly toward the galactic center, the light around you growing brighter, warmer, richer with each passing moment. The dust thickens as you approach. Wisps of golden-brown clouds sweep past like smoke from a distant fire, but they do not obscure your view. Instead, they create depth, layers of cosmic mist that make the galaxy's interior feel alive, breathing, and soft. Lightning-like filaments of charged particles flicker silently within the dust, tracing delicate patterns that vanish almost as soon as they appear. You drift closer still, and the glow intensifies. Millions of stars cluster more tightly. They are so numerous now that individual points of light blur into a continuous luminous field. It is like drifting inside a lantern. The brightness is gentle, not harsh, warm, not blinding. You feel as though you are floating inside the center of a dream, and then suddenly everything becomes still again. You have reached the interior of the galactic bulge, a vast spheroidal field of stars tightly packed together. The stars here are ancient, many older than the sun by billions of years. Their light has softened with age, shifting into deep golds and dusty reds. They move in slow, dignified orbits, gliding around the galactic core with the kind of confidence that only comes from having seen the rise and fall of entire cosmic epochs. In the midst of this serene chaos, a soft glow radiates from far ahead. It is faint at first, like a flicker behind thick fog, but it grows clearer the longer you watch. This is the whispering glow of the galactic center, the very heart of the Milky Way. As you drift toward that glow, the star density becomes so great that the space between them shrinks. You glide through clusters where stars pass one another almost closely enough to touch. Gravity ripples like a subtle tide. Some stars sway from their paths as you drift near them, reacting ever so gently to your imagined presence. And all the while a soft hum seems to seep through the void. It is not sound. There is no sound in space. It is more like a feeling, a deep, resonant vibration, a pulse, the pulse of the Milky Way itself. Your path curves like a ribbon toward the glowing center. The clouds twist into shapes reminiscent of rivers flowing around islands. The stars move in great arcs, their orbits shaped by an unseen hand. And soon you begin to see the reason why. There, at the very heart of the galaxy, shrouded behind light and dust, lies a presence both gentle and enormous. A supermassive black hole, quiet, patient, and unimaginably old. But you do not see a monster. You do not feel fear, you see only beauty. A swirling ring of dust and light spiraling around a dark core, glowing like a cosmic halo. The accretion disk rotates slowly, gracefully, its gases glowing in shades of amber, red, and shimmering gold. It looks like a celestial whirlpool, or the eye of a luminous storm, but it is not violent, it is not chaotic, it is calm. Much calmer than human minds imagine. You float along the edge of that glowing ring, feeling its gravitational heartbeat ripple through space. The black hole is not devouring everything around it, it is simply existing. A massive presence shaping the movement of stars, guiding the rhythm of the galaxy with slow, ancient certainty. The stars closest to it whirl around like dancers in a perfect silent choreography. Their speeds are immense, but from here the motion feels fluid, smooth like silk flowing underwater. Time bends gently around the core, stretching and softening like fabric being pulled. You drift a little further, enough to see a star looping in a long elliptical orbit around the black hole. It swings close, whipping around the center in a brilliant blur, then drifts back outward in a slow, graceful arc. Its dance has taken millions of years already and will take millions more to complete. But to the star, there is no rush. It moves with the patience of eternity, and you move with it for a moment, letting its motion carry you in a long, sweeping glide. The galaxy opens beneath you, the arms, the dust, the clusters, the ancient streams, all circling this quiet, powerful center. Gradually, you drift away from the core. The glow dims gradually, like a lantern lowering its flame. The star density thins. The dust clouds become softer, lighter. You begin to rise gently towards the cooler, calmer regions above the galactic plane. The galaxy stretches below you now in a breathtaking panorama, spiral arms glowing blue and gold, the center pulsing like a warm ember, the halo shimmering faintly around the edges like a soft veil. Your breath slows even more. Your thoughts drift like clouds. The universe feels softer than ever. You turn away from the core, drifting back towards the outer regions with the same slow, gentle momentum that brought you here. The galaxy seems to cradle you in its vastness, holding you effortlessly as you move through the night. And with each moment that passes, your eyelids grow heavier, your mind quieter, your whole being softer. The stars guide you onward towards the next chapter of this gentle cosmic journey as you drift between worlds, floating deeper into the quietest heart of the universe. As you drift away from the galactic center, the light softens again. The warm gold of ancient stars slowly fades into cooler hues, silver, pale blue, and delicate white. The motion beneath you steadies, like a river widening after a narrow bend. Everything feels quieter here, gentler, as if you've stepped out of a crowded room into silent open fields. You rise above the dense inner bulge and enter a region where the Milky Way stretches its arms like a vast, luminous spiral unfurling into the dark. The stars here are younger. Their glow is clearer, like bells rung with fresh metal. You feel their youth, not in age but in energy. There is a brightness to them, a tone, a sense of possibility. Ahead of you, a faint mist glimmers, growing thicker with each moment. At first, it resembles a thin veil of cloud, drifting lazily across space, but as you float closer, the mist reveals delicate textures, wisps, filaments, curls shaped by cosmic winds. Light scatters gently through the cloud, illuminating it from within like a lantern wrapped in silk. This is a stellar nursery, a place where stars are born. You drift into its quiet, glowing interior, and the temperature, not physical but emotional, seems to rise. Something peaceful lives here, something soft. The cloud surrounds you like fog on a cool morning. Everything glows, everything shimmers. The colors are subtle: lavender, soft rose, pale gold, a whisper of blue. It feels like drifting through the inside of a dream. Deeper inside the nebula, you see pockets of brighter light, dense clusters of gas collapsing under their own weight, warming from the inside as gravity prepares to ignite them into new suns. They glow like dim embers waiting for breath. Some pulse faintly, signs of early nuclear fires flickering alive. These are stars at their very beginning, younger than memory, younger than thought, just clouds turning into light. You drift through a tunnel of twisting gas. It curls in long waves as though painted by the invisible hands of magnetic fields and ancient supernova shockwaves. Dust grains shimmer like powdered diamond. Every particle reflects the faint glow around you. The deeper you go, the more the nebula feels alive, not with motion, but with quiet creation. Ahead, a cluster of newborn stars bursts into view, like a handful of diamonds thrown into dark water. They sparkle sharply, bright white and electric blue, the colors of heat, youth, and fierce new beginnings. Their light is strong, but still feels gentle, as if they have not yet learned how bright they truly are. They hang there together, siblings in the cosmic night, drifting inside the remnants of the cloud that shaped them. You can almost feel their pride, their eagerness to shine, their excitement at existing for the very first time. And somewhere deep inside that cluster, planets are forming, small whirlpools of dust coiling into spheres, slowly becoming worlds. Some will grow oceans, some will erupt into fire, some will never cool at all. You drift around the edge of the cluster and watch as faint streams of gas spiral toward one of the newborn stars. It forms a swirling disk, thin, bright, and delicate. Within that disk, tiny grains of rock collide softly, sticking together, just as they once did in our own solar system. They are the seeds of mountains, oceans, continents, and sky, the first chapters of a world written in dust. It is impossible to know what these new planets will become. Perhaps some will glow with methane seas. Perhaps some will host crystal forests. Perhaps one will someday harbor minds that look up at the stars and wonder how they began. You drift on, following a soft current of starlight through the nebula. The deeper regions have darker patches, thick clouds of dust so dense they absorb nearly all light passing through. These dark shadows curl like black ink in the glowing gas. Inside them, hidden from view, the most massive stars are forming. They will ignite suddenly, violently, tearing themselves from the darkness like thunder bursting from a silent sky. And then one day they will explode. Their deaths will send shockwaves racing through the cloud, sparking new rounds of starbirth. From endings come beginnings, from ashes new light. The cycle continues, soft and unwavering. You pass through the tail end of the nebula and emerge into open space again. The silence is wide here, peaceful and deep. The stars around you are spaced comfortably apart, glowing gently like candles on a vast table set for a cosmic feast. Your path curves along the spiral arm, riding the river of starlight that sweeps slowly across millions of light years. Ahead, you see something strange. A faint band of shimmering material stretches across the arm like a cosmic highway, long, thin, and nearly straight. As you approach, the band becomes clearer. A stream of stars, thousands of them, stretched into a delicate ribbon by the gravity of the Milky Way. These are the remains of a galaxy the Milky Way consumed long ago. You drift alongside the stream. Its stars glow with a soft melancholy, ancient wanderers pulled from their home and woven into ours. Their motions are smooth, almost mournful, as they circle endlessly around the galactic center. But they are not lost. They have become part of something greater, part of the Milky Way, part of the shining story of our night sky. You let the star stream carry you gently forward until it fades into the background. Your path opens into clearer space again. The spiral arm curves beneath you, bright and wide, filled with glowing clouds and clusters of blue stars. It feels like sailing along the crest of an enormous wave. You drift a little higher, and everything below becomes breathtaking. The entire arm shines in soft, shimmering light, a river of suns, dust, and glowing gas flowing endlessly around the galaxy. You feel as though you are floating above a luminous continent, one made not of rock or ocean, but of light itself. Your body relaxes, your breath softens, the stars seem to breathe with you. Each inhale draws the galaxy closer, each exhale lets it drift gently away again. And as you travel deeper into the spiral, you enter a region filled with vast arches of dust, long sweeping curves that stretch for hundreds of light years, shaped by ancient supernova winds and the orbits of massive stars. The arches glow faintly amber, like the final light of day drifting across the horizon. Within their shadows, small star clusters form, twinkling like embers nestled in the folds of the galaxy's cloak. Some clusters contain only a handful of stars, others hold thousands, but all share the same origin, gravity's quiet pull gathering dust into light. You feel yourself drifting toward one of these clusters. Its stars are arranged in a way that looks almost deliberate, like jewels set carefully into a piece of cosmic jewelry. Their glow is soft, golden and warm. They revolve slowly around their common center, bound together by invisible threads. You watch them circle one another with a patience beyond human comprehension. Each orbit may take millions of years, but they never hurry. They move in harmony, following laws older than memory, older than thought. You drift gently between them. The stars pass by like lanterns carried in slow procession. Their light washes over you in waves, soft, warm, calming. It feels like floating through a quiet cathedral built not of stone, but of starlight. Beyond the cluster, the spiral arm thins. The stars stretch out into longer, quieter lanes. Dark clouds drift between them, like shadows cast by worlds long gone. The space is calm, gentle, soothing. It feels like a place to rest, to breathe, to simply exist. And the galaxy seems to welcome you deeper into its soft, endless night as your journey continues towards the next chapter of this quiet, celestial dream. As the spiral arm fades behind you, the Milky Way begins to change again. The bright clusters shrink into the distance, like city lights disappearing in a rearview mirror. One by one, the stars thin out. The clouds of glowing gas dissolve into the sea of darkness surrounding them. The galaxy becomes quieter, emptier, softer, yet somehow even more beautiful. You drift outward towards the edge of the grand spiral. The glow of billions of stars blends into a hazy band, stretching like a silver river beneath your feet. Every breath feels lighter here, as though the air itself, if space had air, has loosened its grip. You're floating in the open night now, where the galaxy becomes a whisper. Ahead, the stars grow sparse. There are no nebulae here, no newborn clusters, no swirling nurseries of light. Only lone stars drifting like lanterns lost on an endless ocean. It feels peaceful, still, almost sacred. Some of these isolated stars are runaways, fast-moving exiles flung out of the inner galaxy by ancient gravitational slingshots. They dart through the dark like silent comets, burning bright as they race towards the emptiness beyond. You see one now, a brilliant blue star cutting across the black at incredible speed. Its light trails behind it faintly, like a shimmering wake across the surface of a dark lake. It passes by without sound, without hesitation, without slowing. A solitary traveler with a destination unknown even to itself. You continue drifting outward. The Milky Way grows dimmer beneath you, transforming from a detailed landscape into a smooth, glowing arc. You can see its spiral shape more clearly now, arms curling like gentle waves, a bright center pulsing like a warm heart, and the delicate dust lanes cutting soft shadows across its luminous disk. You feel as though you're rising above a colossal rotating city made entirely of stars. And then something unexpected appears on the horizon, a faint, ghostly bubble of light, expanding slowly in the void. You drift closer, and its shape becomes clearer, a hollow shell, thin and pale, glowing softly in shades of blue and violet. Its edges ripple like the surface of a soap bubble held against a night sky. This is a supernova remnant, the echo of a star that lived its entire life, burned brilliantly, and died in a single, overwhelming breath. You float toward its center, where the remains of the explosion still hold a soft, shimmering turbulence. Inside, the temperature isn't felt physically, but emotionally, warm, slow, and strangely comforting. Tiny particles dance through the bubble, glowing like embers, drifting in the wake of a long extinguished fire. These particles, carbon, oxygen, iron, are the elements that someday become planets, oceans, soil, lungs, blood, and life. You drift deeper into the hollow interior, and for a moment it feels like floating inside a quiet cathedral of light. Everything is still, the debris barely drifting, the gas thin and faint, the colors dim but alive. The exploded star's core is long gone, but what it left behind, its ashes, are already being folded into the galaxy's quiet breathing. One day, these ashes may help form new stars or even new planets. The universe wastes nothing, it only transforms. You drift out of the bubble, leaving the ancient supernova behind, and continue your journey towards the galaxy's outermost border. The stars become even more scattered. The spaces between them widen into vast fields of silence. It is easy to believe you could stretch your arms and never touch another point of light again. But you are not alone here. Something invisible surrounds you, something enormous, something mysterious, something that shapes everything you've seen. The dark matter halo. It does not glow. It does not radiate. It has no color, no reflection, no trace that human eyes can capture. Yet its presence is unmistakable. You feel it as a gentle pressure, a soft weight, a gravitational embrace extending far beyond the visible stars. Without this halo, the galaxy would not hold together. Its arms would fling themselves apart like ribbons caught in a storm. But dark matter, silent, unseen, unknowable, wraps around the Milky Way like a protective cocoon, keeping everything gently bound. You drift through this invisible sea, sensing its presence only through the way it bends the stars' motion, guiding them in slow, graceful arcs. It feels vast, serene, and ancient, as if it has been waiting quietly since the first galaxies formed in the early universe. Beyond the halo, you expect emptiness, only darkness, only silence. But instead, you encounter something faint and delicate. A thin spread of extremely old stars, so old they seem almost transparent, like memories etched in starlight. This is the stellar halo, the outermost region of the Milky Way. The stars here are the oldest in the galaxy, relics from the early universe. They drift alone, unbound to any spiral arm, moving in slow, wandering orbits that take billions of years to complete. You approach one of these ancient suns. It glows dimly, its light soft and yellowed like a candle burning low. Its surface trembles slightly, telling the story of a star that has survived countless cosmic ages. It has witnessed the galaxy growing and changing, watched stars being born and dying, watched spiral arms form and drift. You float around it slowly. There is a reverence in the air, a silence so complete it feels like holding a moment of deep breath. These halo stars are fossils, living artifacts. They carry in their light the signature of the early universe, a time when the first atoms were still learning how to become stars. You drift past them gently, not wanting to disturb their stillness. And then, as you rise higher, the view below expands dramatically. The Milky Way reveals itself fully, a glowing, swirling island of light suspended in the dark sea of the universe. Its spiral arms curve like petals in an enormous cosmic flower. Its central bulge glows like a warm lantern. Dark dust lanes cross it like soft, sweeping brushstrokes. It doesn't look chaotic anymore. It looks harmonious, elegant, peaceful. You float above it, weightless, calm, relaxed. The galaxy rotates slowly beneath you, like a gentle wheel of light turning at the bottom of a deep, quiet ocean. You breathe more softly now. Everything feels slower, safer, quieter. You sense the galaxy settling into its natural rhythm, a rhythm older than time itself. The stars glimmer like distant candles. The spiral arms glow like slow-moving rivers. The dark matter halo surrounds everything like a quiet, invisible cloud. Here, at the very top of the galaxy, you feel something unexpected. Not small, not lost, not alone, but connected. A part of this luminous island in the dark, a strand in the quiet fabric of the cosmos, a witness to the soft, ancient breathing of the Milky Way. As the galaxy turns beneath you, its light blends into a single shimmering glow, calm, steady, endless, carrying you gently toward the next peaceful chapter of this journey through the stars. Far above the Milky Way, floating quietly in the soft dark, you begin drifting forward once more. The galaxy's thin halo fades behind you like a distant candlelight, but something new begins to rise in the darkness ahead, a faint cloud, wide and soft, almost invisible unless you look carefully. This is the Milky Way's memory, a vast ghost-like structure of stars and ancient debris left behind by galaxies that once collided with ours long before humanity existed. You move into it gently. The light here is faint, barely a whisper. Most of these stars belong to dwarf galaxies that the Milky Way absorbed over billions of years. Their orbits are chaotic, flowing in loops that do not match the elegant spiral rhythm below. Each one is a relic. Each one is a visitor from a world that no longer exists. You float between these lonely stars, and you realize something comforting. Nothing the Milky Way ever encounters is lost. Everything, stars, gas, dust, gravity, motion, memory, is folded gently into its structure, blended into its arms, woven into its glow. The stars whisper their stories as you drift past, a faint red sun that was once the heart of a small galaxy torn apart long ago. A pale blue wanderer whose original home no longer exists, a cluster of metallic poor stars older than the spiral arms themselves. They drift in the halo like fireflies trapped inside an ancient jar of glass. You move deeper into the cloud of debris, and the full story of the Milky Way begins to reveal itself. It was never alone. From the moment it formed, more than 13 billion years ago, it has lived a life full of encounters, mergers, collisions, and quiet cosmic dances. The galaxy's youth was turbulent. It spun like a burning pinwheel caught in a storm of newborn stars. Entire smaller galaxies crashed into it, not violently, but slowly, gracefully, over millions of years, the way two drifting clouds blend into one. Their stars became our stars. Their dust became our planets. Their collisions shaped the spiral arms that now glow beneath you. You drift through the remains of one of these early encounters, the Gaia-Enceladus merger, a long-lost galaxy whose stars now drift through the Milky Way's halo like ghosts from a forgotten era. Their motion is different, not circular like the stars in the spiral arms, but chaotic, tilted, uneven, like dancers moving to a rhythm older than the galaxy itself. You float deeper into their midst, and for a moment the stars feel like whispers of another universe. Then the space around you begins to shift again. The faint haze brightens, a glow rises ahead. You emerge from the tidal debris and see the Milky Way once more, but now from even farther away. It no longer looks like a single galaxy. It is a member of a community. Clusters of galaxies hang in the dark like lanterns in a cosmic hall. The local group. Andromeda, our nearest giant neighbor, shines in the distance, its great spiral arms tilted toward you like open wings. Even from here, you can see its soft bluish glow. You can sense the ancient gravitational pull between Andromeda and the Milky Way, a slow cosmic embrace that has lasted for billions of years and will continue for billions more. You drift closer. The distance between the two galaxies is enormous, 2.5 million light-years, but gravity ignores distance. It links them like invisible threads, drawing them toward each other at a gentle, inevitable pace. You can almost feel the slow movement, a drift no human could ever sense in a lifetime, but over the ages, unavoidable. And someday, far beyond the lifetime of the Earth, long after humanity is gone, long after the sun has faded, these two galaxies will meet, not like explosions in Hollywood movies, not like crashing stones, but softly, beautifully, slowly blending the way clouds blend in a summer sky. Stars will pass through one another with oceans of space between them. New spiral arms will unfold like fresh petals of a cosmic flower. Black holes will orbit each other like dancers in a dark ballroom. And for a brief moment, our night sky, if anyone were there to see it, would become a masterpiece of light. Two galaxies fused into one luminous storm of stars. You drift back towards the Milky Way, letting the vision of its distant future fade quietly. The halo softens around you again, the glow beneath returns, a calm spiral island floating in the dark. Its arms radiate like soft rivers of dust and starlight. Its magnetic fields shimmer like invisible threads stitching the galaxy together. As you drift downward, you begin to notice something else. The stars are migrating, not wandering randomly, but flowing slowly, gently, through the spiral arms over millions of years. Some move inward towards the glowing center, some drift outward toward the quiet rim, some hop from one spiral arm to another like travelers changing trains. The galaxy is not static, it is alive, breathing, changing shape over cosmic time. You drift among these migrating stars, young blue giants racing outward, old red suns drifting inward, and clusters moving together like families across a dark continent. Deep below, clouds of molecular gas spiral toward new star-forming regions, while older stars spiral outward into calm orbits at the galaxy's edge. You float alongside them, feeling the slow, irresistible motion of billions of suns shifting and flowing like a cosmic tide. The galaxy is a river of light, a river of time. And then, quietly, gently, you descend back into the thin outer arm of the Milky Way. The stars thicken again, forming soft constellations that remind you faintly of home. A warm glow spreads once more across your path as the spiral arms curl beneath you like gentle waves. The long journey from the center through the halo and across the cosmic void has brought you back home to the luminous outskirts of our galaxy. And ahead, the Milky Way prepares one final story to share, its long future, its quiet destiny, and the peaceful fate of all the stars within it. You drift along the outer edge of the Milky Way, the stars thinning around you like grains of sand dissolving into an endless sea. The spiral arms glow softly behind you, ancient rivers of starlight slowly turning, guiding the galaxy's quiet heartbeat. But ahead, there is something even quieter. Time. Not time as humans know it, measured in hours or days or years, but time as the universe feels it. A slow, patient, cosmic breathing. You float forward into it gently, and the galaxy begins to show you not just what it is, but what it will become. The spiral arms fade, but the galaxy lives on, far into the future, billions and billions of years ahead. The Milky Way will begin to change. The spiral arms you see now, so beautiful and bright, are not permanent. They are patterns of density, waves in a river that appear solid only because they move too slowly for any eye to notice. Over unimaginable spans of time, those waves will soften. The arms will fade, the galaxy will stretch, reshape and breathe. Stars will drift, gas clouds will thin, new star formation will slow. The Milky Way will not die, but it will grow calm. Like an old city that has lived well, full of stories carved into every corner. You drift deeper into the quiet future, watching the spiral arms blur into a smooth, glowing disk made of aging stars. The brilliant blue giants will vanish first, their lives too short to survive the long passage of time. Only the warm golden stars will remain, glowing softly like lanterns in fog. The galaxy becomes gentler, warmer, quieter, but you sense something ahead, something pulsing softly in the dark. Gravity, a familiar one, the slow dance with Andromeda. Far across the void, Andromeda continues its slow, patient journey toward the Milky Way. You drift upward again until you can see both galaxies at once, two glowing islands suspended in a sea of black. Over billions of years, they drift closer and closer and closer. Their shapes distort, their halos touch. Starlight blends like colored smoke. First, the tides of gravity pull the outer stars into long, sweeping streams like silk ribbons trailing behind a dancer. Then the galaxies begin to merge, slowly, gracefully, like two clouds folding into one another. No explosions, no fiery destruction, only beauty, only movement, only a cosmic ballet played out over millions of years. You drift among the merging stars, feeling the soft push and pull as entire solar systems glide past each other with oceans of empty space between them. In this distant future, the night sky, if anyone were there to see it, would be spectacular. A glowing whirl of stars stretching across the entire horizon, like a bridge of light connecting two worlds. Eventually, the galaxies blend completely into one enormous elliptical galaxy shining softly in the cosmic dark. Astronomers far in the future may give it a poetic name, Milkdromeda, Milkomeda, or perhaps simply the home galaxy. And you drift through it gently, watching stars formed from two different lineages orbit together as one family. The fate of stars and the quieting of light billions. More years pass in the slow turning of cosmic time. The merged galaxy grows steady and calm. Its newborn stars glow faintly. Its ancient stars fade, cooling into quiet embers. You drift through them like fireflies scattered in a sleeping forest. Red dwarfs, the longest living stars, shine dimly for trillions of years. Most of the galaxy becomes theirs, a realm of soft crimson light where brightness no longer rules. The bright blue and white giants have all vanished, supernovas only memories whispered by drifting dust. What remains is peaceful, warm, endlessly quiet. Planets continue to orbit, moons continue to drift, dust continues to spiral in slow, beautiful patterns. The galaxy survives, but the universe grows darker, and you continue drifting, weightless, unhurried, through the calm, the end of star formation and the twilight galaxy. Eventually, over unfathomable spans of time, the gas needed to make new stars is used up or locked away. The galaxy stops giving birth. It becomes a quiet city where every star is elderly, a place of memory, a place of long, slow orbits and gentle crimson light. The Milky Way, or whatever it has become, enters its twilight. Not tragic, not sad, peaceful, like a campfire glowing after midnight, its embers warm, its flames soft, its light gentle but enduring. You float through this twilight galaxy and realize something beautiful. The universe is not rushing. It is not hurrying toward an ending. It is simply evolving, breathing, moving through cycles far longer than any life. Here, time loses its sharp edges, only motion remains. The black hole, symphony. At the galaxy's core, the central black hole remains, larger now, fed by stars and gas over countless ages. You drift toward it, no longer afraid. Its glow is soft, ringed with warm light from slowly swirling dust. It is not a monster, it is a keeper of order, a conductor of orbits, a calm presence anchoring trillions of stars. As time stretches even farther, far into cosmic eras beyond human imagination, black holes become the last architects of the universe. They merge, they drift, they shape the last remaining light. Even as the stars fade, black holes remain, quiet and patient. You hover near the event horizon of the galaxy's final giant and feel the faint, deep hum of space-time curved around it. It is the heartbeat of the cosmos. Slow, steady, peaceful, a galaxy at peace. You rise again high above the quieted galaxy. It glows faintly below you, a calm, gentle sphere of fading light. No spiral arms, no brilliant clusters, no newborn stars, just the warm shimmer of ancient suns slowly drifting in their final orbits. And in the vast dark around it, other galaxies too have faded. The universe has become softer, quieter, a place of memory rather than growth. You drift there for a long moment, watching the galaxy breathe one last time. The Milky Way has lived a long life. It has been a nursery, a battlefield, a cradle, a home. It has collided, changed, grown, and survived for trillions of years. And now it rests, not as a tragedy, but as a beautiful ending to a long, long story written in stars. The galaxy dims, but the memory remains, in every orbit, every cluster, every faint spark still glowing in the cosmic night. And you, the traveler, carry those memories with you as you drift quietly back toward the soft dark. The story is complete. The journey is peaceful. The universe is calm. You breathe in the quietest breath of the cosmos and drift onward. You drift farther still, beyond the fading glow of the merged galaxy, beyond the last warm embers of Milkdromeda, beyond everything familiar. The universe around you grows wider, quieter, darker, not an ending, but a deep, peaceful night slowly settling over all existence. The stars have lived their lives. The galaxies have danced their ancient dances. And now, like a child after a long day of play, the cosmos begins to rest. You float weightlessly through the dark and feel the universe exhale. A slow, gentle breath after trillions of years of motion. This is the beginning of the cosmic night. The last stars are lanterns in a sleeping universe far away, impossibly far. A few faint red dwarfs still glow softly. They burn slowly, steadily, using their fuel with careful patience, as if they know they must last. These are the universe's nightlights, tiny lanterns glowing in a sea of black. You drift past them gently. Their light is warm, like the glow of a candle in a quiet room. No rush, no hurry, just steady, peaceful burning at the edge of time. Around some of these stars' planets still orbit, cold, quiet worlds drifting in gentle harmony. Life is unlikely, but the beauty is undeniable. Every orbit, every flicker, every faint shimmer in the dark feels like the last whispers of a bedtime story slowly coming to an end. The black holes take the stage. As the galaxies dim, black holes become the universe's final architects. They move like great shadows gliding silently through the dark. You float toward one, a massive ancient giant drifting alone through space like a solitary mountain at the bottom of a cosmic ocean. Its presence is calm, steady, unmoving, not a predator, but a final keeper of structure in a universe where almost everything else has faded. Occasionally, a small wandering star gets too close and falls inward. A brief flare of light, a momentary glow, and then silence again. The black hole continues, drifting like a stone in dark water, and the universe grows quieter. The slow cooling, a universe, tucking itself in millions, billions, trillions of years pass in the blink of a cosmic eye. The background radiation cools until it becomes almost undetectable, a whisper of warmth from the Big Bang's first breath. Galaxies stretch apart until even their faint afterglow disappears beyond the horizon of sight. The universe is expanding, but to you it feels like spreading a blanket, a soft, dark cover drawn over everything to help it rest. Matter grows scarce, stars grow old, black holes evaporate in flickers of light called Hawking radiation, small sparks, soft glimmers, like fireflies blinking out one by one. You drift through this cooling universe and realize something gentle. The cosmos is not dying, it is sleeping, a long, peaceful sleep after an unimaginably long life. Silence becomes beautiful. In this cosmic night, silence is everywhere, but it does not feel empty. It feels calm, complete, comforting, like snow falling at night, like waves rolling on a quiet shore, like the hush of a room after the last candle goes out. The universe has become a place of memory, a place where every atom has lived a billion stories, and every speck of dust has travelled farther than any traveller could dream. You float among these quiet remnants and feel the elegance of stillness. For the first time, there is no rushing, no creation, no destruction. Only being, only rest, only peace. The faintest glow, the universe's last light. Eventually, the last black holes fade. One by one, they evaporate into faint flashes of light that ripple gently through the darkness. These flashes are the final heartbeat of a universe that once burned with trillions of suns, and you watch them quietly, like watching sparks drift upward from a dying fire. Warm, soft, temporary. After the final flare, the dark becomes perfect, but not frightening. It feels like the end of a long story whose final page has been turned lovingly and placed back on the shelf. The cosmic night is complete, and then you realize something beautiful. The universe is resting so that new possibilities may one day awaken. Not now, not soon, but eventually. Time is endless, and even darkness is only a chapter. You take a slow breath, float in the gentle quiet, and feel yourself becoming part of the calm. The universe sleeps, and for now, that is enough. You float now in a universe that has finally grown still. A calm so deep, it feels like velvet wrapped around your mind. No stars burn, no galaxies turn, no light flickers through the endless dark. Yet somehow this silence feels peaceful, a soft, warm darkness that embraces everything it touches. You take one slow breath and feel the entire universe breathe with you. For the first time since the beginning of time, everything is at rest. Everything is quiet. Everything is home. The memory of light still shines inside you. Even though the stars have faded, you still carry their glow within you. You remember the swirling arms of the Milky Way, the fierce beauty of stellar nurseries, the shimmering dance of cosmic dust, the bright storms around black holes, the long, slow drift of galaxies across billions of years. You remember the warmth of newborn suns, the explosions of dying giants, the ripples of gravity that sang across the universe. You remember every step from the Big Bang to the last quiet moment of cosmic night. And those memories glow softly inside you, tiny constellations of thought that will never disappear. Because even when the universe grows dark, its story lives on in the ones who witnessed it. In you, you drift towards the place where everything began. The silence around you deepens, but your mind feels calm, settled, light. And as you float through the dark, something gentle stirs far ahead. Not bright, not loud, a warmth, a pulse, a soft vibration like the echo of a heartbeat from the first seconds of existence. The memory of creation itself. You drift toward it, and it feels familiar. A place you've been before, long before planets, long before time, long before thought. A place where everything sleeps and everything prepares for whatever may come next. Not an ending, not a beginning, just a quiet doorway between what was and what will someday be. You become part of the universe's breath. As you reach this quiet center, you feel something profound. You are not outside the universe. You are not a visitor. You are part of it, a thread woven into its endless fabric. Every atom in your body was once part of a star. Every breath you take was shaped by cosmic forces that existed billions of years before you. And now, in the stillness, you feel that truth more clearly than ever. You drift weightlessly as the universe itself breathes slowly around you. A long, gentle inhale and an even softer exhale. The rhythm is calming, hypnotic, reassuring. It reminds you that everything has its time, its cycle, its rest. Stars rest, galaxies rest, even the universe rests. And now, so can you. The return home. The dark around you becomes warmer, soothing, almost like a soft blanket. There is no fear here, no rush, no noise, only calm, only peace. Slowly, very slowly, you feel yourself drifting back as if carried by a gentle tide. You pass through the memories of galaxies, past the faint silhouettes of stars long gone, past the invisible threads of gravity that once shaped the cosmos. You move back toward the place where your journey began. You feel lighter, quieter, safer, like someone floating down into the deepest, most restful sleep. And then you drift softly into the dark, carrying the calm of the universe with you. The final line, the whisper that ends the journey. In the quietest voice, the universe whispers, "You are made of stars. You are part of everything. And now you may rest." And slowly, gently, peacefully, you fade into the calm. The journey is over. The story is complete. Sleep comes easily now. Good night,